Marvel used to nail the details. When watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a lot of people complain, isn't Kong supposed to be the big bad of the multiverse? How did he end up getting taken down by a bunch of ants? But the ending actually makes total sense. First off, this Kong is different from the other variants. He's not some superpowered warrior or a genetically enhanced human. He's just a 31st century scientist who fights purely with tech gear. To put it bluntly, he's like a pay-to-win player. His equipment is awesome, but he's not all that powerful on his own. And those ants that showed up at the end? They're no ordinary ants. When they fell into the quantum realm, they traveled to a dimension with a totally different time flow. In the few days that passed in the main universe, the ant colony had evolved over hundreds of millions of years. Let that sink in. It took humans thousands of years to go from the Stone Age to modern civilization. But these ants straight up developed into an interstellar civilization. You know, by the civilization scale, Earth in 2025 is only at level 0.742. Kang's world in the 31st century has just barely crossed into a Type 1 civilization. But these overachieving ants? They're at a Type 2 civilization. That means they can harness the energy of an entire star system. It's like if a modern army traveled back to the Stone Age. Kang's futuristic tech is no match for a Type 2 civilization. Just like a caveman throwing a rock at a tank. So it's not that the writers were being lazy, this is just scientific world building at work. Detail 2. A lot of people get Spider-Man's spider sense wrong, thinking it first showed up in Avengers: Infinity War when Ebony Maw attacked. But the truth is, Marvel planted a hint way back in Captain America: Civil War. Remember the scene where Tony first visits Peter's place? Tony tosses a vial of web fluid, and Peter catches it without even looking. That's classic spider sense. An even clearer example is in the airport fight. Watch closely when Bucky throws a billboard at him. Spider-Man's eyes widen. That's not fear. That's his spider sense kicking in. Detail 3, if I didn't point it out. You might think the thruster flames when Tony takes off are just set to a fixed effect by the VFX team, looking the same every time. But check this out. When Cap smashes the left leg jet of the suit with his shield, you can see the left-hand thruster flame get noticeably bigger. It's to increase the thrust, compensating for the loss of power in the left leg to keep him balanced in flight. Detail 4. We just talked about how precise Marvel's VFX can be, but here's an example of them cutting corners. At this moment, after Ultron uses a jet to kill Quicksilver, Wanda unleashes incredible power. She gets her revenge in a pretty brutal way, ripping out Ultron's core energy. And the crack on Ultron's chest here? It's identical to the crack in Captain America's shield from the earlier Vision. Gotta say, that VFX artist definitely took a shortcut.